GM. So for alts today, looking at some of these sweeps, we got a nice move on Pepe where it rallied up, impulse candle, impulse. Then we had a sort of a topping reversal candle. It dropped back and took out the Saturday lows, which was the last green impulse candle. When you zoom into the hourly chart there, that is this one here, and pushed down, swept it out, reclaimed, impulsing off it. That's pretty good. It has also reclaimed the reversal candle low itself here, this second dotted black line. So for Pepe immediate continuation, it would need to hold that area there. That probably can lead to a new high. And if it starts to fall back lower, I would say it's actually going to sweep this because that's the monthly low. And if you look at some of these other, like stuff like WIF, see over here, I need to change color of these because it gets confused with the daily open. Looking at yesterday's low, Monday, or today's. So these would be the couple of important levels to watch for some of the altcoins. I would say you want to get your alts and start setting alerts at the monthly low, which is mostly off the open today, or whatever coins you're watching. Same thing over here with Apu. You're looking at the monthly open and watching these levels and setting your alerts for monthly open, and seeing how the market reacts coming down into that. As we look down through some of these other coins here, like Render, for example, has set a nice consolidation here after moving into the highs. It hasn't taken the impulse before that, and you have the monthly open as well, which is here. So I think many of them can and probably will continue higher initially, and I would say take the highs out, but I would be looking at that with some untested levels below, that if it takes the highs, comes back inside, you're looking at it to come down and take some of those lows, and that's probably your best area to get long on any of these if they come down and sweep and hold, especially if it maintains trend structure. And you can take that across really all of these, or many of them at least, where they have untested monthly lows so far. So those would be some areas to keep an eye on. Sui is doing its sort of grind towards all-time high that I mentioned last week. I will clear out some of this, just make this a bit cleaner, easier to view. So, not the OB, keep that. Sui has tried to break out here, but left a gap behind with its monthly open. So you might see that as well, where if it falls back inside of the breakout point, looking at it to come back into these areas here. Aptos had a sweep. So Aptos did quite a nice sweep. If you're looking at it from this perspective, this would be kind of what you want to see on some of these alts, which is it moves up into the highs, it sets a consolidation, it sweeps out that consolidation, and so you see on the lower time frame, it's actually at the exact same level. The daily open, the monthly open, and that previous sweep level is right down here. Took it out, reversed, and is holding. So if it reclaims trend structure, it's obviously got trend structure on the 4 hour. The 1 hour is still slightly bearish, trying to flip back to bullish. The 15 minute is crossing back to bullish. The 5, so everything else is in bullish formation. So I'd be looking at something like that to see on Aptos. You would probably see it go higher first as the 1 hour bands cross over. If it then drops back but holds, that's probably going to lead to an immediate continuation. And if it doesn't, again, same thing. You want to have your eyes on the monthly opens and the lows below them for sweeps if it comes back down towards them. So take all your alts that you're tracking and watch them with that in mind. And I'd be looking at something like this as sort of your bullish and bearish dividing point. Around the bands, if it's done all the work to sweep below and reclaim, it shouldn't lose that. If it loses that, it's probably going to go for those lows and into an extended period of chop. If it stays above and consolidates, you're probably looking at some further breakouts, which at that point then you're looking at what levels are above liquidity, etc. Same across most of these coins here. We have had a good end to September. There is going to be some positions building, a lot of chasing going into that, and so you want to be watching for some pullbacks. It won't pull back right away. That's usually the way it goes, right? It won't give you the immediate pullback, but patience tends to pay off with these. And you can watch and see like what has been happening with open interest over the past few days of September, or let's call it the last week or so of September. We have open interest building, and how much more than price? So from these September lows, so for the month of September, SUI up 150%, open interest up 380%. So definite outpacing of open interest with price. Look at, where was Aptos? Is it there? Aptos. Same kind of thing. Obviously not as strong as SUI itself. So you want to watch that and see. In September, we saw, or from these, let's say from the lows to where we are now, Aptos up 50%, open interest is up 68%, 70%. So open interest built up. It has outpaced price. It is left behind these gaps, and that's quite often what you can see for a upcoming sweep. This area here, price tends to probably go higher first, chop around, sweep down into it, and then go. There's going to be a lot of liquidity to be grabbed for higher lows to form in these areas here, which I think will happen at some point in the October candle. So that's what I'm looking at now. Mostly today is setting up plans for pullbacks later on in the month, and get them on your radar, wait for the sweeps. If there's setups on your systems, get in, targeting new highs, and that is it. GM, GM, GM.